What's up, guys? We're playing the new map on Killing Floor. Just updated, I believe, yesterday. So we'll be doing that probably for a couple hours, give or take. And then we're gonna probably go back to Borderlands 3, maybe. Definitely gonna have to see about that. See what happens. Yep. I think for all the people that came on the other day and liking my videos and that, just like that one video.
There's a weapon here if needed.
Have I scared you all?
And I've been trying to stream a little bit more. I gotta stream at least about 4 hours a day.
I can hear her, but not see her.
You want to play, my children? Daddy has some money for you to play with.
Fuck off, bitch.
One piece at a time.
Oh my god, what's wrong?
Crown steel.
Stop that this instant.
The altar.
My children, come out.
Magic.
Don't let them do this.
Feel my blade.
I wonder.
Yeah, wait for this paycheck to come in, and I should be... Yeah, if I could...
She's cloaked.
I just hope I could stay consistent, making at least close to 400 a week. I know right now it should be making a lot more by far, especially, but we'll see what happens. This year's goal is going to be...
I can hear her, but not see her.
You might want to run now. You pull it. Save me, my children. Show them how much you love me.
Feel my blade. Filthy scum. Kill them all. I am it. I don't see it.
If this is a boardroom coup, the messenger is about to die. Wait right there. Oh, your flesh so soft.
One piece at a time.
What do you think? There must be something wrong with the calibration.
Oh, I split him in half.
To live
It's
through
crazy.
it.
But yeah, that's the one thing I'm only worried about is being able to keep this going. So I'll say if the new GM comes in and he gives me what I want, which I hope that he does, because I'm thinking about the whole like manager thing and that. I'm like, dude, number one, I don't have to worry about that crap and that because I know how to lead people. That's the biggest thing that most people don't understand. I know how to lead people. And when I see people really fuck up in that, because they're just a bunch of fucking idiots, I'm just sitting there like, dude, you're so stupid. Why do you do it like that? Yeah. Okay. This is fucking cool in here. This is supposed to be the part where they... Okay.
Keep the area secure. That means kill any Zeds that get near.
Because that's what I do. It's what's good about being a researcher and open-minded person that can look at things from a
She's close.
different perspective. And when people start to get mad at me because I'm giving them like a really good idea, I'm like, hey, maybe you should make this. It's just like dealing with that person at work and that's being mean and aggressive. I just tell them to go fucking home. I mean, if someone's being aggressive, I just tell them to go home. I wouldn't care. I sacrifice, you know, cooking and stuff. I close it down. You know, I'd be like, oh, well, what are we doing, you know, to goes and shit.
Feel my... All who oppose us will perish.
They accept too much violent stuff in these workplaces. Like, well, you're accepting all that shit is because you don't want to do the work yourself. Because there's always a second agenda in the workplace. Like, I like it when it's busy. Matter of fact, I love it when it's busy. Because to me, it makes my life easier to be able to run through. That's how you make more money, is to be busier.
Think fast. Or as fast as you can. So, think slow.
I'm liking this green. This green's pretty cool.
T-minus 10 seconds until your death. You weren't ready for this, but here it comes anyways.
I see a weapon here. Don't let that foul town close on you! One piece at a time! I bring destruction to our...
Just handed a pod. You got lucky. The fact your survival is an accomplishment is pathetic, like you.
But yeah, I always tell people, you know, if you want to do something right, you gotta look at it from a professional standpoint. And I've been trying to like get good at triggering like the focus mode where I'm just like, let's just work, fuck everything else. Working is what I need to do, and that's it. And so that's kind of like how I am. I'm trying to. I never got a leadership position before, but I've always been a leadership mindset.
Think this is all a piece of cake? How about a new slice?
You know, when people don't do the job they're supposed to do because they're too busy worried about all their other fucking bullshit. So like for instance, one of the magic guys, he's worried about his own personal life a little bit too much. Like and that's his only problem. Like if he's not worried about his personal life and he's at work and that, you know, and he wants to be like, no, it's never anyone's business kind of thing. Well, you make it everyone's business because you're still like not doing the job that you need to do. That's all it is. Because people get pissed off and when you tell them the fucking truth about like how they act in that. Oh yeah, of course. Like you gotta get upset. But people only say the things they want to say. Because that's what happened with me, you know. The dudes get upset because I was telling them, you know, like, hey, you know what, it's like... You know, you want someone on your side that's going to give you the fucking truth about what you do. Then don't, I mean, if you're going to do it, then, you know, at least be prepared for the consequences of the actions that you make. Yeah, I keep telling men over and over again, stop being so damn emotional. Stop giving in to bullshit. Especially what has to do with the female, and stop giving in to the bullshit, the crying. A lot of the times they do stuff and if they're in the fucking wrong, you're like, oh, it's okay still. No, it's not okay. I mean, like, okay, if they're on, say, like, if something happens and it's like, you know that it's something wrong, then okay, but if the person's just like, oh, I said something towards someone, they got angry at me and they cussed me out because I said something that was wrong, well then, time to learn your lesson. Guess what? You fucked up. Not cuddle with it and be like, oh, it wasn't your fault at all, because that person should have known, you know, they should just suck it up and be a man. That's not what it is. You held people accountable for a fucking reason. People think it's cruel to tell people the truth. And it's like, people do that shit all the time for thousands of years. Telling people like, hey, you can't grow unless you get kind of emotionally abused a little bit. As in that your emotions fucking hurt because someone told you that you did something wrong. It happens with my ass. You know, for little minor things, like I cuss in front of people. To me, it's minor. Because the word, it's meant to be expressive. But people freak out about that shit, dude. They're like, oh my god, you can't say these things and that. I mean, if you want to do that, it's cool. Then again, they start being hypocritical and screwed, you know, as fuck. Yeah, when I start seeing anyone that's a hypocrite and that, it's like, you shouldn't be allowed to talk at all.
Colonel Steele! A strike!
You don't have enough money to live. You're just dragging.
But yeah, that's what always invigorates. Damn, that's what always makes me, you know, upset. It's when people use specific things like words or concepts to push a manipulation upon someone, thinking that someone's gonna sit there and be like, oh, I have to believe this person. Like, no. Like, you don't have to believe anyone, honestly. I think you should just believe people that are, you know, that are on your side no matter what, and you can trust them. You know, when people, this is the biggest thing I do not like, when people use their position of a leader to enforce a manipulation upon someone. That is the worst thing, to use your leadership. I had this happen to me so many times. They know I'm smarter than them by far. Instead of just listening to me, they use a position of work, not position of outside of work. Because they'll use that whenever they see fit. And people say things like, you can't tell me what to do. It's advice, dude. Because what you don't see is what you don't know. So if you don't see a problem, it goes right over your fucking damn head, and someone else of your team sees a problem, you should be notified of a problem, if it's you or not. That's the whole concept of this. This is how life works, period. So
Ammo, if you need it. They are upon us. Strength to strength. Ha! Feel my blade. Poisons do their work upon me.
I just run through that shit, doesn't do nothing.
On my own. It has Hey, poison! You feel us now. All who oppose us will perish.
Whee! That's funny. That's not good. That's a pretty good boss thing. But yeah, that's kind of how I always treat everyone. That's why I tell people I always act really stupid. No matter where I'm at, I'll be the stupid one.
Ah, for a simple lighted torch.
Because people get so offensive when you try to act better than them or you are better than them. That's what happened to Who's Now. Like, one of the guys there was complaining because he wants to get as many hours, and then the thing is, the motherfucker just wasn't showing up. And me and a lot of the other employees were actually talking about it. He just doesn't show up. And he says the reason why I wasn't, working that because you were taking all my hours, or they're doing you more than me. And no, it's because I showed up. And I told him that, I was just talking to him, like, but you show up late at the time. And then he makes up excuses. So once again, people make up excuses for everything. No one wants to be at fault, even though it is their fault. It could be something simple, like, okay, I was just, too high last night. I didn't want to come to work. Or I was dealing with this, dealing with that.
These times are bathed in blood.
I was like, I'm always gonna get that. It's cool, but
Yes. How steel. How?
I like this simple right here.
That flesh pound is quite heinous. Need I kill you twice? I go from strength to strength. Now we made it angry.
I didn't expect you to make it through that way.
Aha! A strike! Ah! 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 Feel my blade.
Why is my fucking blade missing so damn much?
Just head to the
All they hate about this game is like close range. Like if you're not If you're like not pointing it right at them, you'll miss them. It's so fucking annoying.
Lucky you.
Not all the time, but with some things, like that heavy swing does it a lot.
You're not even trying. You don't have any grenades.
Leave me alone. I'm 100% trying. But yeah, that's what I always like to talk about now or bring out. Like, it just kind of annoys me that people be sitting there like get upset over stupid shit. It's like, dude, don't you want help? I mean, everyone deserves help. You can, like, the thing is, when you're closed-minded, you never accept no help unless it's like completely like
Doug has some new tricks for
say like buy yourself or something like that.
clawing, killing tricks.
The onslaught begins! Count Stephen! That flesh pound seems to pound us to death! I bring this. Don't let that foul pound close on you. You want more? Out my ears!
Damn, dude.
Such sustenance. Now, that flesh pound is quite heinous. I go from. Poisons do their work upon me. Hey, poison! These times are bathed in blood.
Spend your just imbeciles before I decide to shut the pod.
But yeah, that's why I like to just,
It's some big achievement.
if I talk about something that's important, I want to bring out absolute truth with it. A lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand that stuff. You know, they're always like, oh, how do you know that it's true kind of thing? It's like, well, because I see it with my own eyes and I identify it with other people. That's what it is. Like, a lot of this stuff it's just ridiculous. Like that's why I always got something to talk about. Because, you know, you trigger people very easily by just saying, like, hey, you did something wrong. What did I do wrong? And they freak the fuck out. Not all of them do it, but you can tell the ones that do it. They're temperamental. Like, if you're just being nice about it, saying, hey, you know what, I saw this, I saw that, you know. I was thinking that, you know, maybe you could look at it from a different perspective. And people will get upset, be like, well, why are you thinking about that? Why does it matter what you think, kind of thing? It's like, well, also it matters why you have your job still, because you're doing stuff that can get you, either it'll push you out of the job that you have, and you want to say, you know, but people make up lies about really stupid shit, and they manipulate people to think that they're more high and mighty than what they really are. It really bothers me. Because the first thing I hear that comes out of people's mouth is that we're like, I'm the best person ever, I'm this and that. I say, I'm a damn good worker. I always will say that, doesn't matter where I'm at. And I'll say, I'm really fucking lazy too. And I start hearing more and more people say, yeah, it's like, I can be lazy too. People will never say never say like a negative, I mean, I can't say it's a negative thing at work because, you know, you are lazy at work sometimes. Who the fuck wants to work 8 hours a day? You really don't work 8 hours a day. You sit on your fucking ass probably more times than what you think. Well, anyway, I was at the vet with my mom and dad. We went to the animal hospital and that, to the veterinary hospital about 10, 15 minutes away. So I took my younger dog, Ruby, and my older dog, Liger. He's like 14, Ruby's like 4. So I took them, we were taking them to the hospital. This one girl came in they're all very beautiful girls. Can't blame them. They got a high-class job. They sit around all day on computers. They basically don't do anything, really. They just do on computers and that. And they deal with dogs. And they make probably like, I don't know, anyone that's in a hospital, they probably make at least close to $50,000 a year. And they sit around all day, and they know that they can work overtime because there's always needed. So, like, this girl came in and I said, how long are your shifts today? It's like, I work a lot of hours myself. And she's like, well, sometimes they work up to like 14 hours a day. And I'm like, yeah, you probably sit on your ass at least 7, 8 hours of the days waiting for stuff to come in, and you're sitting on your ass. The only work that people do is when they actually work. So, like, you establish a work front, and you're not walking around, not doing anything. You're just sitting there waiting. You're not working. I mean, you are working, but you're not working. So, like, in some ways or another, why people hate factories so much, because factory work is literally work until you go on break. They give you an hour's worth of break. You're only working 7, but they give you an hour's worth of breaks because they know damn well that, okay, you work, say if you work 4 hours, you get, say you work 2 hours, you get your first break. You work another 2 hours, you get your, lunch break. And then you work, another 2 hours, you'll get your 30-minute break. And then the last is just, because I worked at a plastic factory, that's all it was. Some days I had easy jobs. Some days the jobs were so fucking stupid and that they moved products so fast that it got to the point I'm just like, when it goes from easy to hard in a job, you got to pay people more. Because enthusiasm goes down if the job's harder. So, once again, that's how I look at it from my perspective. Because I like to be in front of customers. I like to be the image of what I work. So when I see the people that are managing my shift that I've been working, swing shift from, 4 to, say, 4 to 4 sometimes, or 4 to 2, I try at least do that. I see all kinds of problems. I'm just saying, okay, I'm working 4 to 2 anyway. I might as well just become the shift lead and just work 4 to 2. I see what you guys do. You're like, oh, job's hard. You don't do shit. You don't. You choose to do specific things to that. You choose to come in early because you got to make up hours because of this and that. That's your own personal decision. The thing is, if there's not a manager-based person on here, I don't give a shit if I am a fucking dishwasher. Pay me my $17 an hour and that, and once I become a better cook and that, blah, 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 you can give me 18 or give me 16 right now. I really don't care. Because I'm looking at it from the perspective of how I'm learning how these people work in that. I see that they're really fucking lazy. Like, I don't know how many times they'll sit in the office for 45 minutes. And they're playing around with the computer, pretending that they're doing something. And not saying that they're not. They might be doing something to a certain extent. But they're not. They're not doing anything. I'm just like, oh, they'll be in the office on their fucking phones and that. I'm like, oh my fuck. Like, this was an earlier day. Honestly, you be written up. They would tell you straight up, like, hey, stop getting on your damn phone. That it's like, this is a verbal warning. You gotta get off your phone when you're at work. Because as soon as that fucking thing pops up, and I see that happen all the time, as soon as a food thing pops up, you're like, oh, I gotta go outside, I gotta smoke. And they do some, oh, it's so hard back there. It's like, dude, I'm inside this building all fucking damn day long. I don't go outside until the end of my shift when I know it's gonna be slow. I try to do it around like 8 o'clock. From 8 o'clock to 8:30 and that, I tend to be a little bit more lazy in that. I tend to not work as much. I try to calm down a little bit. I try to relax myself. And then I do the hard push. So like it's till 8. So I'd say about 7:30 to 8:30, I tend to slow down a little bit. Well, I won't work as fast. I'll push it a little bit. because I know at the end of the day I'm not getting 8 hours in anyway. So that's why I slow it down, so I know if I do work past 10, which sometimes we do, because there's a lot of cleaning to do, I'll sit there, and that's what I do. I'm not getting 40 hours. If I was, I'd leave right on the fucking damn dot. If I was working from 2 to 10, I'd be fucking gone at 10. But I'm not. I need to be. But that's the only problem with the GM that I had. She made the hours based upon what she could do, which she had to come in at 8 because when I talked about this, that's what she was trying to do. Oh, that's what it was. I had to come in at 8 and that because, but she said it worked 10 hours. So it didn't matter anyway. So she come in at 8 because of her kids. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But to me, that's not anyone's responsibility. But the biggest thing is, it's always personal. Like, you gotta bring your kid to the bus stop? Tell your kid to walk. This is where the fear bullshit comes in. Well, I don't know what's gonna happen in that. Teach your girl how to fucking defend herself. I don't know what to say. Everyone's thinking that you can't defend yourself. Someone walks up to you, just tell them fucking no. No, most people just run around and kidnap people. They do manipulation tactics. And the reason why a lot of people do get targeted, once again, when you actually learn to use your fucking brain for once, people get targeted because they see a weakness in the family. Once again, you got a weak role model dad. Your dad's a fucking pussy, so they target that. They know he's a pussy. They know he don't do anything. They know that he don't take charge. They know that he doesn't do anything like that. And that's what people normally target. See, I never got targeted, because my dad was actually a very masculine man. He defended himself multiple times. And, and that's what it is. Sometimes it's just a show, but that's all you need. You don't need to have someone going out there Ramboing up and cut people's arms off and shit. No, you don't need that bullshit. That's how these minor attractive people, say pedos, that's how they do it. And you've actually researched, there's an interview of it, some guy that got out of prison for being a pedophile. He got out of prison and he talked about how he did it. So he gave out information. He's like, you'd be surprised how many people around your area that are like that. There's a lot of them just don't do anything because they can't, because they see such a good structural thing, because they don't want to be hunted. So they only do specific things, and that's how it works. So, I get it, but, put mace on your belt. Get, a little mace thing on your little purse of that. Mace does a lot, because you spray someone with mace, most times they can't see, they can't do anything. It's just defend yourself. People are like, it gets scary. I'm like, that's what fear is. Fear is the act of not learning how to defend yourself. Defend yourself. No, I've been seeing a lot of these, like there was this one Facebook short. This girl was talking about this guy at the gym and that, and this guy at the gym was sitting there chasing around this, she's a beautiful girl and that. She has, she worked out a lot. She had a thick butt and all that stuff and that. She was very pretty and that. And at first, the guy was just sitting there walking around, and all of a sudden, he started chasing her and shit. That's fucking lag, fuck. Oh my god! I can't believe I died. That's fucking hilarious. But yeah, she's explaining that the guy was just chasing her. That's the reason why people need to defend themselves. I mean, I understand the world should be like that. It doesn't matter what the fuck you think the world is. You guys start thinking about what the world is. Start thinking about what, you know, or yeah, you gotta start thinking about what the world actually is. You know, when people just assume this and that, well, that's your problem right there. Stop fucking assuming that shit. 'Cause you'd be very surprised how many people be like 100%, you know, people are fucked up.
Wave 1.
A lot of people get fucked up because they got, you know, they got no guiders. They got no Jesus in their life. That's what I say about guiders and that. You gotta have guiders.
Christmas is coming.
You know, like we have Sims for a reason.
I killed you.
And less and less people that believe in something that can guide them towards salvation or towards a good light.
Donner's avenged. Get nuts. Here comes Santa.
Don't worry. The next one will be harder. Go to the pond. Buy things.
But yeah, that's what people don't really understand.
Still die. Wave
Like,
2.
the biggest thing to understand about life is life itself. Just understand it. We are made
Here we go.
not to. Suppose people say, "Oh, made to serve God," and that. Well, it is your creator. It is someone that created you, and that's why we have so these problems in life.
Sweet.
Not terrible, but that's just the war about it.
And people get so upset with that stuff that they're like,
Huh?
"You can do good stuff." People get so finicky, you start bringing up Christ and that. That's because you're a sinner. That's why. Like at first, that's like, "Oh, it's not cool," and that. No one gives a shit about how cool it is.
Get nuts. Are you ready for me?
Like when people look at fertilization and that, and they look at how like they do camera work on how babies are like becoming that, there's a big ass fucking light that there's a big ass light that overconsumes the fetal, you know, of the baby, and that a light like booms around it just before they really start to like create the baby, and that's the soul. That's exactly what it is. That's the soul. So that's a soul purpose. You have a purpose to be alive. You're born in this way. Biggest thing is when you stop believing in God, or you stop believing in things, that's when you start to notice the problems.
The trainer pod design is not terrible. Horsey, keep the Zeds out of that area.
There's one right there. And I don't think a lot of people don't understand that. Like,
I do like a grotto.
if the book of Enoch and all these books and that were 100% true,
I'm all give, give, give. No bother getting out.
You think that's it? There's plenty more Zeds.
I may have overindulged. You missed the old Santa?
This area remains mostly secure. Is odds helping you somehow? Is this some sort of prank? You're not this good. If I thought that was anything but luck, I would be impressed. Area remains secure.
But yeah, that's what
This
people
place
don't
could
like.
use a chimney.
That place, you know, people do, if you don't see it, you'll never actually believe it or know it. I thought it's a beautiful thing that, like, I had a little, I was listening to some stuff last night, and I listened to this one guy. He does a whole bunch of, like, interviews of people talking about, you know, Christ and that people actually meet Christ and that all stuff. And I'm sitting there,
You have a death wish. If not, buy armor.
and, like,
T-minus 10 seconds until your death. Don't play it on the pod. It was hard to steal this many.
yeah, it was just, like, super unique. Like, people are coming all over the place, coming out with Christ and that, or they're coming out, you know, saying, you know, thank God, thank Christ, thank my Savior and all stuff and that. And, you know, they're very humble people in that. The fuck are these shooting at?
I see you. I'm all give. Black Friday all over again. And I did it all in one night. Here comes
I didn't expect you to make it through that way.
He does a good job, though.
You are so dead. The next wave is gonna flap
Yeah, because he stuns people and that.
Not even a scratch. Oh, I'm not impressed.
Oh, I didn't even get hit. Okay, cool.
Recalibrating.
That's what you do, is you get a standpoint, you'll get, like, a whole bunch of double issues, just throw a whole bunch of them.
Idiot. Get
It
some
works
gear,
really fucking well.
ammo, all those things that help you not die. Don't bleed on the pod. It was hard to steal this many.
Die, naughty, die.
Okay, it's gonna be good then. But yeah, so I was doing some stuff, and I know I got overwhelmed, you know, with myself and that. I started like crying and shit because I haven't cried in so long. You know, a relievation cry. It wasn't like anything bad. It was like a happiness cry.
Flesh pounds are naughty. Chestnuts.
I think you may be operating under the misconception that you're supposed to live through this. You're not.
And like it just felt so good to just not saying emote in a bad way, but emote in a healthy good way. And like it becomes over you. So what I think about that, like a lot of people have explained it, like I've been watching a lot of these clips of them. People say, you know, your heart feels like it's being touched, you know, by the Holy Spirit. He himself is coming out to touch you because you are part of him. And I don't think people understand. I think people at church make it look like that it's something else. And I'll be sitting there like, no, it's never been something else. It's always been the same way, you know. And people want to throw that down and be like, why do you believe in God? Because there's only one thing that we can do. Everything else in this world is to believe in something.
Something is cloaked. You meant the old Santa?
Don't break your arm. Pat yourself on the back.
Right near the top of the naughty list. Catch that.
I guess that.
I can smell them. It's time to forget anyone. I'm all give.
Deal with the stragglers. I'll make sure the next round is a challenge. Spin you, Josh, imbeciles. Before I decide to shut the pod.
Next, I gotta see what I can get. I'm just gonna get more damage.
Nothing.
Hopefully that drives it up to where it does deal, or what starts to one-shot the normal guys. But that's what I want. It actually works pretty good in a big place. You just throw it up and you just run around in circles, and normally could capacitate people.
Idiots. Get some gear, ammo, all those things that help you not die.
Ooh, like a lot of ammo around here. When they about new maps, there's not a lot of ammo.
Box of jingles.
Last call for guns and bullets.
Okay, this place is really open.
Protect the area.
There's more.
Can.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you some about that. I was staying here for a while. Then we'll kind of spawn a little bit.
Here comes Santa. Nothing says Christmas like explosives. How do you like chestnuts? I spy the star. Chestnuts. Die. How badass am I? So badass.
Area breached. This will be fun.
I think they get like 50 shots or something like that. It works out really good because it keeps them at bay. Because he shoots every second. So it keeps them really at bay. And all you need to do is get one ammo pack. And then you get 50 things for it. It's actually really good. Okay, I can't pull a Borderlands. I got it. Okay.
Keep using the pod. I'll see if I can get your fingers stuck in it.
This place will actually be pretty good too.
Armor will help you keep your insides in. Most people prefer that.
Let's stay in here for a little bit. But yeah, it's got the whole point of this. Like, if anyone wants advice about any of that stuff for next time, oh, perfect. Holy shit. Okay, that's cool.
We're Craig. No, they're Craig.
So you keep saying that, but his damage ain't really too fucking high, though.
I made a list. I checked it twice.
This area remains mostly secure. Is Hans helping you somehow? Is this some sort of prank? You're not this good.
I'm all give. Hello, flesh pound. Oh. They're here.
I thought that was anything but luck.
Nice.
I would be impressed. Area remains secure.
Almost got enough. Yeah, I'm gonna upgrade that. Find me ammo.
Looks like a
Find
Krampus
ammo.
hideout to me.
Find me a gun or something. But yeah, when I got overcome, like I'm still working on it. Like there's not.
The Zeds will be there soon to alleviate your suffering.
I really don't want to get rid of that. Let's get this up because the damage ain't gonna be enough. I'll just wait. But yeah, like when you overcome something, like believing in something you haven't you haven't had faith in a long time. Not 100% faith, but like it's just simple things. Like we live life based upon what we do. Okay, so
Wave 9.
if people want to sit there and like you're less angry when you have something to follow.
Let's pound sided. Time to give it a present. Reload! Die, naughty, die, huh?
You're a lagging piece of shit.
Think that's it?
There you go.
There's plenty more Zeds.
So, what? You
Oh my
say
god, stop lagging with your fucking animation lag, bitch. Hate that.
I'm all give.
What the fuck, dude? Stop doing animation lag. Fuck off, dude. I do hate this animation lag bullshit. It's so stupid. Like, anyone gets close to me, the game likes to freak the fuck out. Probably think it's only this game, though.
Here comes Santa. Loading.
Nice.
How do you like me now?
A big gun may help you feel safe, but it
There
won't
we go.
actually save you.
That's how the fuck I got positive. But yeah, like, here's what it is. I'm gonna throw out this estimation of why people should believe in something more greater than them, if they want to look at it like that. But you know, believe in the creator in some way or another. You want to be a 100% believer, just say you're a 100% believer. But like, you feel science is always want to structure things differently, so to speak. So when science wants to structure these things, and people want to sit there, I have no idea where the fuck I'm going. The arrow thing sucks. It seems to go here. Okay, we're just gonna go and pause it.
We'll
Okay.
just sweep that squig back into the cloning vet.
But like, there's a chemical reaction to when you start to believe in something that makes you happy.
A box of jingly bullets
And
looking for
most
a
people don't like happiness. They really don't. Like when you say, oh, you know, we have sin. It's like, okay,
Results if you die too fast.
what does that even mean? Well, it means that we are sinners. You know, that's just simple facts. We're not perfect, so to speak.
Don't bleed on the pod. It was hard to steal this many.
People tend to get like upset over it too. They're like,
You come here and make all this noise.
if we have sin
To work.
and we have negative responses to things we do wrong, which are the sins that we do, and there's negative responses to it, you can see the negative response to it. Your body feels the negative response. If you feel about your body and your body feels it, that means that your body was created by something that's telling you, hey, stop being an alcoholic, stop drinking stuff, and start to believe your remedies will happen.
I can't kill what I
You'll feel better. You'll be stronger. You'll feel stronger. You'll be a better leader.
Do I look like a target?
Ah,
running worms, run far. I shall not enough of this phase. Now time for this game. Time to try the next phase on you.
Getting expensive.
damn.
Might die the next wave.
Dude got wrecked.
A box of jingly bullets looking for a home.
But yeah, that's what it is. Like, and then like when you're a little kid, that you're more of a believer, and you know, you fear things more. But as you get more indoctrinated by our society, more or less likely you start to think that stuff's not real, but
Your
it
eyes
is.
open down.
Dude, I heard so many ridiculous amount of things that happen, you know, in my room itself. Lots of weird noises and that. And when I heard that big, thick ass stomping noise, it was so fucking huge. It was so ridiculous. That like you can't explain it. It was just there. So, and it freaked me out because I was paralyzed. You know, my body was paralyzed. And I've been paralyzed before about stupid, you know, by just things in my mind, doing stuff and that. And like something came over me, and like it was ridiculous.
Secure. That means kill any sets that get near.
So what people don't want to understand is your fear is for your salvation. That's the whole point of fear. You have fear. Fear is there to basically educate you
Hello,
to know that life is ridiculous sometimes.
fire is not slowly dying. You miss the old Santa?
The next one will be harder.
How do you like me now?
But yeah, that's why I like to talk to people about their lives and
Got
that.
you something crazy.
You breached. They're coming for you now.
So like I go around and I just talk to random people that I see that work at certain places. Like I go to the QT and I always talk to the clerks and that. You know, I always try to be part of society that I live in because I live in this society and that some people are like, oh, you know, I just want to go to work, go home and play games and that. That's cool now, but when you're part of society, society is what makes you grow. When you start to notice things, you'd be surprised how much, if you're trying to, you know, just give someone a hug, give someone a happy thought in their mind.
Hurry up so you can die.
Or just talk about certain things and that. You'd be very surprised how much that like makes people feel. You know, feelings has a lot to do with how we structure our lives. So if you always have negative feelings in your life and that,
Easy because you don't repair your armor.
you know, the negative feelings are always so ridiculous
Minus
sometimes.
10 seconds until your death.
And if your feelings are so negative and that, guess what happens? Your whole life's gonna be negative. It's just like when you have a competitive competition with someone that, and it's not positive. Well, it's not positive, man. That shit. There's healthy relationship stuff, and there's just bad relationship stuff.
Loading.
Don't break your arm patting yourself on the back.
How badass am I? And I did it all in one night. Here goes Hannah. Oh. It's jiggling like my belly. Oh. Donner's avenged.
Buy things.
Yeah, that turret thing does really good. Ain't gonna lie, it's pretty fun.
That Sprig's chainsaw was out of gas.
It's actually pretty useful. Just throw it up in front. So we have a whole bunch of commandos and a whole bunch of like doubletionists. You can just throw all your turrets up, just watch them just like rip people apart.
Keep your eyes open down here.
But yeah, that's like what I always say, and that about people, and that's like you have to understand like where things come from. So life itself is very beautiful if you can see the beauty of the creation that we have. I get a lot of people are like,
Sometimes you
why do
gotta
I have to do it
decorate
like
your own
that?
tree.
Well, when you think that you live on a ball, so to speak, you're being condemned to what reality really is. And that's why it's very, you know, toxic for people to sit there and keep on thinking the same stuff over and over again, like, oh, you know,
Do you hear what I hear? The siren. Ring team.
Deal with the stragglers. I'll make sure the next round is a challenge. Area breached. This will be fun.
but yeah, that's why it's really important to understand, like, where we come from. I know people do the controversial thing, they'll be like complaining about stuff. I'm like, dude, here's what it is. If you can't deal with the problem, that it's like people that want to be more lustful. Like that's what I don't have. That's why I don't have sex with anyone. I don't think that it's something that's gonna make my life any better. If it does, it's a confidence better. So like, oh, I get more confident because I've done something that most people have already done. That's all it is. It's like when one person gets a car, another person gets a car. Guess what? They feel the same because they both got cars, right? Okay, well that's cool. But the honest truth is, you know, to me, who fucking cares? Never mind, let's go do this one. A lot of people are always like, you know,
That's great. Near the top of the naughty list.
People get so like fantasize about that kind of stuff and that, and they like freak, and they like go to this freak out mode kind of thing. Like, oh, you know, like if someone gives them really good sex, for instance, and like their minds are totally deluded to that, like they think they have to have it because it's the best feeling they ever had. Like, dude, just pray. You'll feel really good if you pray. Give thanks. Give thanks to people. Being polite, being positive is going to give you more of an influence of loveliness.
Chestnuts. How badass are
None of this has made it in. Surprising. Want a cookie? If I thought that was anything but luck, I would be impressed. Area remains secure.
And that's what it always is. I mean, like, yeah, people that go to church and that do the hem thing and that, but the funny thing is, like, everyone used to go to church back when I was younger, that 20 years ago when I was 13, now when I was 6, 8 years old, everyone went to church. Like, the community went to church. You know, they went to a church to gather and do that one day a week. We went on Sunday. Everyone's normally off on Sunday. It's not that you can't do it, so to speak, without going to church. Yeah, you can. When you're at work and that, you see you're in the bathroom, they know just give thanks. It's very easy, you know. Thank you, Lord, for giving me what I got, you know. Thank you for creating me in the way I am. You know, the decisions I make in my life are going to be my free will, you know what I mean? But it's just like, the decisions are not always the same as decisions. They're not only give me bad decisions, you know, people make stupid decisions. But if you say, oh, you know, thank you, you know, for dying for me and that, you know. And like, people don't like to use the word Christ. Like, Jesus, I understand, but the word Christ or Almighty or God, or I use Creator. Some people use Father. I think Father's a little bit more of a thing. Thank my Father, you know, for all the stuff that He did for me. And because you got two fathers, most likely, if you're most likely you got two fathers. But the Father of all fathers is going to be the Father that created all of us to begin with. And that's a kind of a sight of the mind that it's like thinking like, you know, how does that change my life? If you understand how the soul and the spirit work, so for instance, you know, not a lot of people talk about this stuff. When your soul is formed, so to speak, you have your own individual soul. It's like, that's where they get the Big Bang from, by the way. The Big Bang is the soul being created. That's why they say the Big Bang. That is the Big Bang, the soul of creation. So before you're even like remotely have any type of like born, your soul is created and your body is created around the soul. That's what gives us the life that we get, you know, and that people don't see it like that. Science is just telling you up front, but you have to figure out the riddle. Solar system, galaxy, you know, universe. There's a whole bunch of things that they're tipping at, and obviously, yeah, they're doing it on purpose to mock us. That's the whole point of it, you know, solar system. You know, that's why they say when the universe, they'll talk about the universe. What they mean by that, they mean the verse beyond what we know, which is heaven. That's what the universe is, it's heaven. And they want to state that in a way to contract us. That, oh, there's a multiverse and a multiverse. We're in a Gogoru verse or a trillion verse, and they're just jerking themselves off for real. That's all they do. And that's all they do with Flat Earth. It's just how science looks at it. They give you tips of how what they're doing is right in front of you. And that's what people don't understand. I'm sitting like thinking about it, like, oh, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? It's like you're sitting there like, okay, like solar system. People say solar system. They're trying to lure you to be in that brainwashed state of mind. So if someone says, I'm a flat earther, they instantly target you and say, I believe in Christ. They target you. I'm not even joking. Like every time you say like, Like, if they're hypocritical, they'll believe in Christ, but they'll sit there, they'll just believe in Christ. They don't believe in themselves with Christ, they just believe in Christ. So say, like, if I say, I know specifically that I am made from something that created all, in the flash of an eye, I was created. Which is the Big Bang, that's the soul getting created. To unite life into, you know, yourself. And that's why, you know, certain people say, like, if you never learn how to be an American, for instance. Americans are very corrupted people. Like, honestly, I live in America, and I see a lot of people are just, like, completely, like, crazy. They're one word trigger people. So if someone says God, someone says Christ, that echoes in their brain. I don't give a fuck who you are in this plane of existence. Saying Jesus Christ, bam, echo happens. People just feel that kind of feeling. Sometimes it could be demonic. Sometimes they'll push away from the light because they'll think, like, I'm scared. Well, you should be scared, because God Himself, or the Creator, is very scary. It's not the point of Him to be nice and generous all the time. It's the point of stating, like, if you don't want to follow, then you should fear me. Even Lucifer fears the Creator because he was made from the Creator. So this is where the context comes in. The people think, like, okay, why this, why that? And then, like, I've been watching all these stuff that, like, this one guy was asking questions that about, you know, like, Christ, and then this person said, well, I believe in Jesus. Like, do you really believe in Jesus? And why are you sitting there sleeping around with a bunch of different dudes? They're like, well, it's a concept. It's like, it's not a concept. It's an actual way of living. We gotta have guideposts. That's why, you know, if I hammered someone in that, say, if someone say, you know, if they, you know, they have a boyfriend, so to speak, and then they have sex with another man, that's infidelity. That's exactly what it is. You're going against the feelings and emotions of your soul that's being catered to that man that you chose to be with. And now you just, fuck it, because I want to feel good, because I look for a better man. Then don't date that dude then. The thing is, your mind, here's how it works. You can only give off so much of your emotions before your soul starts to really think, like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, society swings you all these different ways in that. So to say, like, when people say I need to be healed, and they're hypocritical about it, like all these TikTok girls and that, I listen from Taylor the Fiend, they say I want you to be healed spiritually. All you have to do is don't make TikToks. Give yourself to the Creator. Give yourself, you know, to Christ, and that. It's pretty easy, honestly. You just call out His name. And you say, you know, Christ, please forgive me for my sins. You know, I am a sinner. Everyone knows they're sinners, but to be able to come out and actually say it themselves is the hardest part. I say, you do as you want in your life. Everyone, this is what I don't like about preaching. When people preach something, they want to demand you to do something. I say, you preach something, you look at it from the perspective of how they are altogether. So not everyone's going to give in to it. So, like, you be up front. You shall fear. You shall fear God or the Creator, for that He is powerful. Powerful. That's it. It's like if you're an adopted kid, for instance, you raise into a very strong, male-dominant family and he's just, you know, a leader. He does what he has to do. He knows what he has to do, and he knows the problems of life because he's been through it, most likely. You know, his wife, you know, say his wife can't have kids and that, and he's really devoted to make her happy. This is one thing a lot of people hate, especially feminists, you know, feminist women and that. And they said, like, that's control. It's not control. It's an able emotional response to the person that you love. You're trying to do everything you can to make this person happy. That's a good man. That's how a man should be. When you're leveled out with your woman, so to speak. This is why we have so much problems with people not believing in God or in Christ and that. It's just simple facts. Just pray. No, learn the Lord's Prayer. It literally takes like a minute to say. And then what you do is you think about your sins. I think about the sins that I have in that. Say, like, I'm a very, you know, I like to enjoy myself. And so if I enjoy myself too much, I feel like that I'm starting to go down the road of sinning. And to enjoy and to say I need to enjoy myself, but do it in a way that's more balanced. And it's hard. It's the most difficult thing in the world to get off of something that you enjoy. So I was sitting there last night, and then I was thinking to myself and that, and I was sitting there, listening to these like little clips of people talking about, how they found God or Christ or whatever it is. And I really started to think to myself, like, okay, let's try it. Let's really give in to this and see how I feel. Because you never know until you try, kind of thing. So with my issue that I have, that I'm probably the most addictive thing that I have in my life, I decide not to do it at all. I decide to alleviate myself and say, this is very hard. It's the most difficult thing to deal with, is to be able to sit there and deal with something that people always say that hurts you, but it actually does not hurt you. And what happens is your body chemistry changes. So, like, the biggest thing that comes to people's mind is the thing they want to do the most. But sometimes it's counterproductive. So if people do certain things and it's just like, I want a reward out of it. Sometimes not having a reward's never always the best thing, what you think a reward is. So for us, it's money. So for me, for instance, sometimes I'll work off the clock, and I'll do it. And people say, it's like, oh, well, if something happens to that, it's in my own means. But I do it because I see that there's a purpose behind it. I enjoy giving my time to something that I think that could help someone else out. That right there is the best feeling in the world, to open a door for someone and say, they say thank you. This is why words are actual battle. Information is the actual battle. So if everyone's saying thank you, sir, thank you, ma'am, thank you, that's why they're trying to destroy the whole man and woman thing. You got some of these crazy far leftist people, they don't want to be called man. They're like, I'm a woman. This is what they're trying to do. It's a very enormous little spiritual battle in that. And this is where we have to rise up and start talking about it more. Start educating people a little bit more. Because of the true sense of this, it's going to come down to, well, if life is not hard, it's easy. If life is easy, you get condemned to sin a lot more because it's easier thinking. So if you think about something and you're like, oh yeah, I'm a billionaire. What am I going to do today? I have nothing to do today. My business runs for me. I have to do a couple of checklists and that. And, and that's the biggest dangerous of having all that kind of luxury now. Because when you're building yourself up to that, you're going to be more pure building yourself up, deal with the consequences of your actions, or the sins that you make in that, or whatever it might be that you might want to qualify as a sin. And all of a sudden you build yourself up, and all of a sudden you get to the top, and you have nowhere else to go. If you had millions of dollars, what do you do with the millions of dollars? You want to be happy, right? That's the whole point of having money, to be happy. Happiness is temptation. Because most people can be happy just by eating too much, by lusting too much, being greedy too much, having too much pride, using their money, that greediness, to overstep the bounds of normal people that are below you and saying, I have more than you. That's pride. All that stuff is literally how life should not be. But if you take consideration of it and say, okay, I'm gonna go to a restaurant, I'm gonna give every waitress $1,000. I'm gonna give every waitress $1,000. The whole entire store. So whoever's there is $10,000, $20,000, 20 people, gotta give them all $1,000. And you do that plan, guess what happens? You're doing a positive thing. You're reaching out and giving your wealth, giving what you work so hard for. Now your life is easier to make everyone's life slightly easier. Now giving too much away, yes, you can't just say, here's $1 million, here's $1 million, because they have to work hard too. But giving, it's like giving like a little bit of a gracious thing. Say like, oh here's $100. You do a fantastic job. You deserve more. Now how that person thinks about it, how they use that, is how they use it. That's why you never see massively rich people give people money like Mr. Beast does. Well, Mr. Beast makes money off of its money, so it doesn't even count. You know, and that's how a lot of people do it. You know, that you get, if you're throwing your money into a CD ring, that you're making fucking, you know, 50, 60,000 a year, you have to give away something eventually. But like, that's what it is. And this is why people have to really look at it from that perspective, because like, if you really see, like, everyone does that, so you ever give thanks to someone for helping you, you both feel good about that. So like, when I have someone mad at me, like I had someone mad, I've been practicing myself, it actually works really well. It's a negotiation between two emotions, so two souls. So if a soul's really corrupt, that they're very negative in that, they do drugs and that, they're always trying to keep their mind and dopamine levels massively fucking high. That's why smoking weed is horrible for you from a spiritual standpoint. Some people doing that to alleviate themselves, to get closer to Christ, to get closer to God, or get closer to the spirits around them and that. But a lot of people just use it because they're like, my life sucks. They waste all this fucking time and that. All of a sudden they're sitting there like, how do you fix your life? I said, how do you fix your life? How do you feel better about yourself? Why can you smoke weed? Well, what if you don't have it? They freak. They don't know how to deal with it. I don't do any of that stuff. I take pre-workout. Does it alter my mood? It gives me a caffeine boost. It might slightly elevate my hormones a little bit. Like, caffeine gives you dopamine levels anyway, but if I enjoy myself, which I'm doing right now, talk about something I'm passionate about, I'm always going to feel good. But this is how you know that it works. So instantly, this guy, he's one of our cooks, and that dude was fucking getting upset because he was just working. He's working really good, and that he actually does work really good. But he's taking that working good as a pride thing. It's a very far-fetched, you know, thing to do. Oh God, man, I'm waiting for that shit all damn day. Nah, I'm getting a little. So I gotta leave my lights off. My room gets a little hot. But you know, I did it. I said, you did a good job on that, bro. The thing is, he was so negative that he didn't know how to be positive. His negative emotions are so heavy in that he thinks it's being tough. He thinks it's, you know, that's how I used to be in that when I was younger and that. And like, this dude's older than me by like a year. First thing he stated is he got upset. He's like, do you really want to know how old I am? No one gives a fuck about how old you are. He's like, he said his age. Like, okay. I'm younger than you, but I act way more better than you do, as in more intelligent than you. And the last thing, you know, how it started that, so I went to the kitchen, and I started hearing all this complaining. This dude was just being a dick, and he's just sitting there like, oh, you need to know this and know this and know that. I'm doing all this stuff. Once again, you have daddy issues. You have an emotional response to think that you're not a fucking man, but you're doing stuff that men really do, is just work, stay confident, and do your job. That's how you know people have daddy issues. They go off with enormous amount of emotional overlay. It's just like... So how I started is that I complimented him. I say he's a very handsome guy. He's, why are you calling me handsome? I'm like, well, you're a good-looking guy, man. I'm a handsome guy, too. Well, I'm just saying that you're a handsome person. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. He's like, it made him feel weird. Oh, yeah, it's because you don't like gay people. That's why you feel weird. You hate on yourself because you're confused with your life. If someone came up, a guy called me handsome, just call me handsome. Or they say, oh, you look like a pretty boy. I'm like, yeah, because I know I am. Right there just makes me feel better about myself. You're calling out what's actually true. So like, this is why I like when say like if a woman, I never hear this from women a lot. I never hear women call any man handsome. I only see older ladies call men handsome. I was saying, like, women, I know I'm changing the subject and that, but this all has to do with emotional construct. When people don't say they like something, that you don't need a full-blown thing that you need to do stuff. This is why, you know, people are like, oh man, they think about the sexual need of things, and they're really attracted to someone that. You don't need, like, I don't care about the whole sexual thing and that. Like, I look at someone, I'm like, oh, you look good, you know, you're a very pretty girl and that, or you know, stuff like that, you know, I'm attracted to you. That's what you say, I'm attracted to you and that, you know. And it's like, okay, that's cool now, you know. And that's it. But some people get over-induced with emotions. They can never hear it a lot. They do, but they never take into consideration of it. You know, I like tell people, that's like, once you ever call me attractive, because I know you're attractive, you stare at me all damn day. They're like, and they don't say nothing. they're so scared because they think it's going to connect them emotionally to you. And they don't know how to deal with it. And these are people altogether. That's how I used to be when I was younger now. I think a lot of people went through this. When you say something to someone that you're like, oh, I'm curious about that, just be upfront. You could say little single words that understand it. So, for instance, like, well, I'll talk about what happened to the cook and that. So, me and her were talking that. I went in the back room and then I was sitting there chilling where they were almost done with their day and that. Like, they had a couple hours more than that. And he was just like, he asked me, what are you doing back here? I'm just watching. And he's like, well, stay out of my way. I'm like, I'm not in your way. I'm literally just sitting there. He's like, well, if you don't want to help me in that, come back. You shouldn't be back here. I'm like, okay. Throw out all these super negative things. But once you catch up to that and you throw down lingo that counteracts it. And I was just like, dude. And as I was walking away and that, I was about to walk away and that, and I was just like, just like shaking my head and that, just like, dude, I don't like to get in confrontations with people and that, because I know if you do, that's what they want. People want to fight, they want to do that stuff, and that's like, oh, I'm so tough and that. But the biggest thing is, you're not. You are the biggest chump ever, because you're getting upset at a job that you signed up for. You knew how bad it was. You're getting paid all this fucking damn money and have to sit here and complain about making food. Sounds like a personal problem to me. I get it. It does get hard in that. I enjoy making food. If I'm back there being happy and then talking and jamming and all that stuff and that, it's a lot better. So once again, this person's just got some issues with that. And it negatifies everybody else. So once again, a lot of people have been dealt with this. I've dealt with this multiple times with a couple people that they're super fucking negative. Like, oh, my life sucks. So good for you. Get the fuck out then. My life doesn't suck. I love my life. I love what I do. I have my ups and downs, but I try to stay positive through everything. Positivity is all about what you think of yourself. If you can't love yourself, then you must hate yourself, right? If you can't like yourself, then you must dislike yourself, right? Well, you're going to dislike certain things about yourself because you're trying to compare yourself to someone else, but that someone else ain't you. Compare yourself to yourself. Say, okay, you know what? I could do 20 reps, almost 3 sets of 10 of fucking shoulders. I could never do that before. 20 reps of 20 pounds on my shoulders and that. And a lot of people say, well, that's not a lot of weight. You grab 20 pounds and go like this. 20 times. That's a progress. That's a positive progress. That makes me feel better about myself because I'm pushing something forward that I enjoy. I enjoy lifting weights. I like it. I never did a lot of shoulders. And I do more shoulders than that. My shoulders are getting thicker. Guess what? I become slightly more attractive. My percentage points go up being attractive because I got something that is positive attractive. That's why I'm doing a lot of hammer curls and that, because I'm trying to build up the brachialis, the top part of my bicep of that, because I have weak forearms on top. So I start doing hammer curls and that. It makes the arm a little bit more thicker and that. It makes you look more attractive, right? Okay, well, that's progress. When you do baby steps of progress, you start to build up yourself. But you have to know how to do it. So let's say, if God gave you his image, it's a beautiful image, but you have to maintain it as that image. So people back then, for instance, they were more or less chiseled. They say, well, people are fat for survival. And no, people are fucking chiseled. People are fucking chiseled out. Like, everyone walked around skinny and chiseled. You ever see the Ethiopian people? They're fucking ripped, skinny, strong as fuck. They're super fucking strong people. There's like 160, 170 pound people, just fucking like 10% body fat, ripped as fuck, picking up 100 pounds and throwing it over their fucking damn head. Exactly the point. So and that's what it comes down to. So because they feel they're native to where they're coming from. They believe they're very highly spiritual in that, so they see that from that perspective. So and that's what it comes down to with this cooking. That at the end of our conversation, that I was out there, I was just like, hey, he was getting nasty with the waitress and that. And as soon as I confronted him, I said, hey, it's like, you're doing a good job, bro. You should be happy that you're actually working really well in that. I was like, I know it's been a bitch and that. He's getting all like argumentative and all this stuff. And basically being a big old baby. And then I'm like, oh my God, I wouldn't say you're being a baby, but when you aggressively entice people like that, it doesn't work. So I just keep on praising him. Say you did a really good job. I know it's hard. When I say I know it's hard, I know you're getting frustrated. I say, I know you're getting frustrated, man, but we're trying to work this stuff out. That's the whole point about being a team. We're trying to work this out. It's like I'm busting my ass just as much as you are. I'm over here doing what I need to do to make it the best that I can. And you know, he was just like, yeah, it's like, I noticed you bust your ass. I thank you for that, all stuff and that. And then he said something really stupid. And it put a little threatening tie on it because, I'm tough. And I'm like, oh my God. I had to walk away. I was laughing my fucking ass. I laughed at him. As soon as I laughed at him, he sat there and he's just like, and actually one of the things that he stated one thing. And I said, what you do, just leave or something? That because you can't handle it. And he says, I don't quit on anything. Yeah, you do quit because that's why you have this job. Because you quit on another job. So right there was telling me, okay, you got some emotional issues, and you're not a full-fledged man right now. You are lost in your own little world. You have no idea where you're coming from. Which is telling me he's spiritually weak. He's a weak soul. He needs salvation, and then he'll be better. Because most people that work really good have a structure of discipline, and they understand that they have to work. And the thing is, they tell the truth. So one of the guys I work with, I call him Lolo. And, well, I don't call him Lolo. I call him Lolo on this. Sometimes I say people's real names and that. Depends. And, he doesn't, like, I give him positive reinforcement. I tell him, I was like, you're really disciplined, man. You sit there and you work your ass off. You know you're tired as fuck, but you push through it. But the thing is that he does is he tells people that he's angry. He'll be like, yeah, I'm just tired, so I'm getting a little frustrated in that. And right there is what relievates yourself. The other guy was just getting angry, just to get angry. You're trying to figure out why the fuck you're angry. He ain't saying like, well, I'm just frustrated today because I'm just tired. And not explaining is the reason why people, and then you're threatening everyone by having this negative effect. And you think that you're being a leader and all this bullshit and that. So once again, the manager dealt with them. And obviously our manager's kind of like up and down with certain things. But anyway, I talked about him that, yeah, he's being threatening and that. So I noticed you're having issues with him. And the person, our manager's just like, oh, no, I wasn't having issues. I was, doing something like, dude, okay, from what I see, this is a whole new, thing in that. But what I see is that you're trying to act like something is not happening when it's actually happening. When people actually see what's happening, guess what happens? You are the one that's, blah, blah, blah. It's a fear thing. And, it's a fear, sometimes it's not a fear because of, I don't want to get punched in the face. It's a fear because if you do something, you're going to get in trouble for it. You're going to lose your job, whatever else. So you just be a smart ass. Be a positive smart ass. Just say, it's okay. It's like if you want to get angry, go ahead and go in the office and go pout for a little bit. That's cool. And if you're angry in that, go outside, go smoke a cigarette. I'll take over for right now. So you could have your little, your little cry room. Because, in a business, we don't cry. We do our job. You're getting paid to do a job. And most of them say, well, I'll just leave. I'm like, bye. What you do is you're sending a signal to that person. It's like you say, it's like you are worth it, but you don't think that you're worth it. They say, well, I'll just leave. Okay. See you when you come back here because you need money. That's it. You guys got issues, have a tissue, get the fuck out, That's exactly what I would say to anyone that gets frustrated. I'd say, you can go cool off, go ahead and clock out and cool off for 30 minutes. Because I'm not paying you to be here to sit there and wreck everybody else's day because you're frustrated over some bullshit. Hit your break, and when you decide to come back in from your break, people need breaks, yes. Then that's fine. Okay? Oh, I need to shave. What time is it? It's not even 10 yet. Tomorrow's Thursday. I gotta fucking work tomorrow. I'm gonna stay up like all fucking day. But yeah, that's what I like to talk about people because everyone goes through that stuff that they think it's powerful being angry and stuff like that. It's like you're pretending to be tough because you know when I came back in that I was talking to some of the people that were there and dealing with stuff that one of the guys that was training back there with him or he was being trained. He said like he's just so negative, like he was just so like angry and threatening and that it was like it was really hard to work with him because he's fucking pouting and bitching and moaning and shit. Like it's like I was like actually helping him out. I was actually learning. He was. And I said, you know what? You know, and that's why I talk about with the manager guy and that, because I said, it's like, you don't do that and I don't do that. We don't pout. We know how hard this job can get, so we push through it. And, like, when you're sitting back there, and, like, anyone that complains about their job and just doesn't do their job, guess what happens? You ain't helping. It's like when people come in, they don't stock their damn shit. They complain about people not stocking. How about you just stock it yourself? Like, that's literally, like, the biggest man thing to do. Is, like, you just do it yourself. Because you look more prominent. If you want to get a raise or you want to get more satisfaction out of your job, go in there, do your job. People thank you for it. Well, it's all about the money. It is about the money. There's other ways to make yourself feel better. It's by doing that. Be appreciative of yourself for that. You need to get some water. That's all it is. Be appreciative. You know? A thank you goes a long way. Saying that you did a good job goes a long way. I understand people don't want to talk about it like that, but it does. Perfect.
What's up? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to Cutesy and give me some food. I don't know what yet. I gotta give me something. So I took a nap. And how long have I been on for? Almost 2 hours. Try to do some fasting that, but man, whew, that stuff makes you tired as hell. Walk off a little bit and but yeah, I went to the animal hospital for my dog's vet visit. I tell you, there's a lot of good-looking nurse girls. You know, girls that are like all into medical field. That man, I ain't gonna. Some of these girls are fucking. They're very beautiful. They definitely keep it together. I mean, I don't know how like how their lives are outside of work. I don't know what they do. But yeah. It's always tell people, you know, how people are outside of work is going to be different than how people are inside of work. Because people inside work can be a saint or be really good, you know, at their job and be really good people inside of work, but outside of work they can be a massive disaster waiting to happen. To each their own kind of thing, you know. As I tell people, you know, anyone that drinks or smokes or does anything like that, you're just making it worse for yourself. If that stuff doesn't actually work, it's a. Like this one guy was trying to explain it. And he's just like, if people actually like believed in God, so to speak, a lot of people, you know, they believe in God. Everyone believes in God, they just don't use it. And they actually graces themselves with the Holy Spirit, so to speak. You're not going to need drugs or all that is are just knockoffs of what life really is. Like I don't do any drugs at all. So I do caffeine. Caffeine's a stimulant, yes. But to see that stimulant itself is a natural response. It's not thing that's altering my mood enormously because it doesn't alter my mood that much. If not do much at all. And like when people smoke weed, you're actually getting high. Your body's creating happiness. You don't want to create happiness. You want to be happiness. You want to be positive. You can't create positivity. You want to be positive. People can create positivity. They'll be positive at work, or they'll be happy. They'll be happy, more or less, you know. And ultimately, they just say, you know, or they make themselves happy. So they make themselves happy instead of actually being happy. Because make yourself happy means that you decide to be happy or not. You can just be happy, be positive, be cool, be fun. You know, laugh, sing, dance. That's what I do. I'll tell you what, it makes everybody else more happy. I don't know how many times people say, you know, if I wasn't at work, and that a lot of them would have left already because they see that positiveness. They see that's something that they like to enjoy when they see me. So when they see me being down, they know shit's hitting the fucking fan. And so what they do is, if I am down, for instance, for stupid shit, they'll come to me and alleviate me by talking to me about it. So I try to be a massive leader of positivity, and does it take a toll on me? No, I learn how to just say things happen for a reason. Just be happy in life. You know, you're alive, you're breathing, you're walking, you're talking, you're enjoying yourself, you're enjoying the, you know, the highs of life, whatever you want to say. Honestly, that's just the way it works. You can die being fully happy if you decide to just be happy. Say, hey, I'm just gonna be happy today. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'm hungry. Got some G Fuel. I got a little chicken thing. And I got some chili cheese Fritos. Man, I'm hungry. Whew. Let us pray. Praying is good. Oh. Did I bring more water down here? Oh, how do you get this? Oh wow, it's getting a little hot in here. Whew. Hey Parker, what's up, bro? How ya doing, man? About to get myself set up. Gotta get some water in that. Got the new map out for Killing Floor. Got some new guns. I gotta try them out. Hold on. Oh man. That's a food to eat. Let's see, like PlayStation's gonna fucking blow up on me. Oh, I got my water. Okay. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna watch some games. Or not watch some games, I'm gonna watch some Baki. Thank you for the like. That helps out greatly, actually, because that one, if I get more than like 8 or 9 likes, then my views go up quite a bit. I need to get those views up so I can get some more algorithm. I gotta get my algorithm up again. Look like Ramo. I don't know who that is, bro. How you doing, Mason, man? You chilling? Chilling like a villain? Man, you might as well come back to work up there, bro. Oh shit, like that.
What's going on? You've made my day. You're just a kid, but you know the difference, don't you? Between a fight fought inside the ring versus outside the ring. There are so many unusual but useful weapons in a place like this. Huh?
Nice day outside, isn't it? would have been the last thing I needed. A fight at school. Someone getting hurt. Everyone in class finding out who I really am.
Jesus! Please don't hurt us!
Okay, that's not weird. Man, this is harder than I thought. Oh, hey, how's it going? Hello. No way I'm going back to class now. Baki Hanma. We meet again. Are you well? It's you. Come on. Not here, man. The only rule is there are no rules. He's fast. They're a total blur. I know there's a sharp-ass blade on the end of each of those ropes. But I can't even see him. Nicely done. A chain and rope weapon is difficult to evade because the blades are moving faster than the eye can follow. The mistake for the target is thinking he can dodge the blades by watching them. Yeah, but a much better way is to keep track of the guy who's throwing them. Clever, but that depends on how the blade is used. How about we play another round? Oh, great. It's even faster now.
Yanagi. Payback's a bitch. Careful. What the? It's cold. Yes, it's cold. You're quite right. My. You didn't manage to defend yourself at all, did you? You know what, Shinagi? I think you may have chosen to take on the wrong opponent.
Mitsuomi Hasegawa, age 71. Director of the Dental Association of Japan. Doctor of Medical Dentistry, doctor of sports dental occlusion, and author of Body Culture and Bite Force, among other works.
It's not all that complicated. You'll understand what I mean if you try it yourself. First, open your mouth as far as you possibly can go while still keeping the jaw totally relaxed, and then try lifting a heavy object. It's not so easy, is it? You see, what I found is that high-level physical performance is directly proportional to bite force. I came to this conclusion after examining the teeth of literally thousands of top athletes. In every case, their bite was several times stronger than that of a normal person. In other words, I found that top athletes have some serious chompers. And who had the most remarkable teeth of them all? I'm not sure I should be showing you this. Oh, well, why not? There's one dental exam here in particular, one that was performed on a prison inmate about 2 years ago. You see this? This here is the gum line. Notice the molars. Do you see how they're almost completely worn down? I've never seen a case like this. It makes one wonder, did this man train so hard as to produce that amount of wear? Or perhaps we should ask, how hard has he lived? For in this particular man's case, it's possible the two things are essentially the same, and that his life has been nothing but a never-ending training session. I'm not sure if this necessarily explains it, but I do recall that he was a practitioner of the martial art known as the Way of the Void.
What the hell just happened?
Really? At a school, Yanagi? I'm sure they must have rules against carrying a concealed weapon.
Concealed weapon?
Allow me to introduce my friend Bog Nak, who comes from India. Strange name, huh? It means tiger claw in Hindi. He's good in a fight. How about we go just one more round?
Yanagi, aren't you being a bit overconfident?
Huh?
It seems to me that it's 2 against 1.
What? Huh. Yeah, I'm down for that. Like you said, the only rule is there are no rules, right?
This sounds like fun.
Try and keep up, Bucky! Got you good, didn't he, Yanagi? As the expression goes, Yanagi, you're trapped between Scylla and Charybdis. You might be facing the greatest tag team of all time.
You got skills, all right. I didn't believe it when I heard you won the unarmed combat crown at 17. I thought to myself, how is that even possible?
Did you forget about me? Go on, let him have it, Bucky!
You're weak!
Keep in mind, despite appearances, concealed weapons aren't even Yanagi's true specialty. He's known as Yanagi the Poisoner. Moreover, his fighting style is the way of the void.
Answer me this, Baki Hanma, if you can. Of the many poisonous gases in the world, which gas is the deadliest of all, do you think?
Don't let your guard down, Baki.
The deadliest of all is not necessarily the one you think of.
Be alert, Baki.
There's sarin gas and carbon monoxide, of course, both of which are extremely poisonous. And cyanide, too, can often prove fatal. What the hell is he talking about? However, when a person dies from toxins like those, if they die, I mean, the guy just won't shut up. They start by getting dizzy, or maybe by coughing violently. And it can take a long, long time for them to die.
I gather it's nerve damage caused by a lack of oxygen. It happened during some kind of prison fight, or at least that's what we've been told. And how is the patient now? Well, he seems to have stabilized. Good Lord, he's huge. Yes, we had to put 3 beds together. His name's Kitarashi, a former professional sumo wrestler. Hard to imagine he'd lose any fight. Yes, I know. And apparently to an opponent who was only 1/3 his size. And where is his opponent now? He escaped the authorities. Apparently, he's on the run. That's a troubling thought. I mean, there's a needle in him. He's built like a brick wall.
I'm all give, give. Like a cracker. Outside
The answer is oxygen.
Ammo here.
But once you've figured that out, it's already too late. That is the way of the void. Yes, the thing that gave me the name Yanagi the Poisoner was oxygen, the deadliest gas of them all. But also the one that needed to live. Ironic, isn't it? This is just a mere knockout. He could be back on his feet in another 12 hours or so.
It's incomprehensible. This is a technique far removed from the normal realm of the martial arts.
It appears an explanation is in order.
Wave 16.
Do try to keep up. As you may already know, the atmosphere around us normally consists of 21% oxygen. As that percentage declines, the human body's ability to function deteriorates. Vertigo sets in.
I don't see him.
Nausea,
Smell
vomiting.
Nothing says Christmas like explosive.
Symptoms like these and others occur even with a drop in the oxygen level of 15%. Such a loss of function can make all the difference in a fight where only an instant in time can separate winner from loser. If the oxygen level drops below 6%, oxygen represents render a man unconscious. That goes for even the strongest man. The human body is designed to survive much longer than 5 minutes without breathing. But as I said, a single breath of air consisting of less than 6% oxygen will... Well, we've already been over that, haven't we? All I'm doing is exploiting what is clearly the result of a poor design. There is now an time out my head, a pocket of air containing less than 6% oxygen. On glass, or on wood, even on concrete. Again, I trained my experience on different materials. Until eventually I was capable of creating a perfect vacuum in the palm of my hand. Like this. Now do you understand, Shibukawa? That is how I harness the most poisonous gas there is, far deadlier in its effect than sarin or cyanide, one breath of which is capable of bringing down even the strongest of men. In a way, being in prison turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to me. There, I could hone my technique on my fellow prisoners. Is it any wonder that inside those prison walls, I can... We have company. I guess it's your lucky day.
Wondering what happened? In short,
yeah, I want to take a break right now. Should I eat some food and stuff?
Yeah, I think I might get on Borderlands.